Hello, gorgeous human being. How the heck are you? I hope you are having a wonderful day. And I'm really glad that you're here to join me for this talk, which is called Create Your Business Money Plan. And I'll be honest, it's not really the name that I wanted to call this. I think what I wanted to call this was Earn More, Work Less, which is completely the philosophy and way in which I run my business and live my life. But I think if I'd said earn more, work less, then it's very broad and it's not very specific. And I think people wouldn't have really understood what this talk was about. So I kind of had to dig a little bit deeper and go, okay, what is underpinning this talk that you're going to be sharing today? And what's underpinning this talk is based on my knowledge and my history, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about very, very briefly, is that every business that I've ever worked in, been in, has a business plan, a plan that brings money into their business. And so this is why I've called this Create Your Business Money Plan, because you have to know how money is going to be coming into your business and how you can keep generating money coming into your business. And there needs to be a plan. I see so many businesses that launch and they have no plan. They have an idea or they want to sell their services. And some people think having a business means you've got a computer and you've got a website and that's all you need, and that people will just flock to you somehow magically all on their own. And there is a lot more to business than that. So I want to share with you, I'm not going to do like a big intro on me, but as I go through this, I'm going to share stories that will tell you a bit more about me anyway. So I'm not going to do the whole big tell you my life story, because most of you know my story. Most of you know I'm a single mum. Most of you know I've got a dog. Most of you know I've got a child. Most of you know I'm a Londoner. You know all of that stuff, right? So we're not going to waste time there because I've got so much to share with you today. So let's start at when I began. I am a business coach, right? And when I say I'm a business coach, I want to be really clear about what I mean, because there are people who say that they are business coaches who have never run a business. There are people who say they're business coaches, but they've never worked in anyone else's business and done any coaching around that. It's very easy to label ourselves as things that we are not. And so when I call myself a business coach, this almost is business is part of my DNA. Business has always been something I've been interested, probably from around the age of 11, when I used to buy and sell sweets in the playground and make money for the kids that were scared to leave the playground. And I'd be a badass and go and buy stuff and then sell them at a marked up price. Later on in life, I got a job working for the government where I was a business mentor, and my role was to simply help businesses to make money so that they didn't need any support from the government in any way, which means I have read thousands of business plans. I have been into hundreds of businesses. For 10 years, I talked about business, like how to improve your business, how to improve your cash flow, how to lay off staff, how to fix the holes in your business. So when I say I'm a business coach, I mean I have been in businesses. I have worked with hundreds, 600, 700, 800 different types of businesses where I've had an input into that business making money. I know business. I could walk into your business and very quickly identify where the problems are, what needs to be changed, and what we need to do to get money into your business. So when I say I'm a business coach, this is what I mean. I love business. I can talk about business all day, every day, and never get bored. Never get bored, because it's exciting to me. Making money is exciting to me. And so this is what I mean when I call myself a business coach. I have a long history of running my own businesses. I've had 3 businesses that I've run myself, and I've worked in hundreds of other businesses. And for 2.5 years, so this ended, I think, towards the start of this year, or was it maybe the end of last year? I was working for an online digital platform called Member Vault, which has over 40,000 members in there. And my role was in there was to help people have a better user experience. So I would go into different businesses, lots of digital businesses, and I would teach them. I would run trainings. I would interview people. Some of you in here probably have heard some of the podcasts that I've done for Member Vault. And I am very much a strategic thinker, and so I would interview people about the strategic things that they are doing in their business to make money and to serve their clients, right? So I've worked with a lot of businesses. I've been into a lot of businesses, and I know what works and what doesn't work. And the one thread that I would pull away from my over 30 years experience of working in other people's businesses and being a mentor and being a coach and sometimes being a consultant in different businesses is that there's one clear thing for me that runs through all of the businesses that are deemed as successful or profitable. And it's very simply that they had a plan. Not only did they have a plan, they had a plan that was ever evolving, that they reviewed, that they kept to, that their teams kept to. There was always a plan. Nothing was done willy-nilly or just making stuff up when you roll out of bed. There was a plan. There was an actual plan. And every business that was making a bit of money and could make more money was because they already had a plan that perhaps needed tweaking or improving, but they had a plan. And the businesses that were struggling were the ones that had no plan. Forgive me, my phone is ringing. So the big takeaway from today that I want you to have is to make sure you have a plan in your business, a plan that is clear for you to understand how you can bring money into your business. So I want to talk about very quickly why I work the way I work, in that I've adopted this earn more, work less strategy into my business. So 2 years ago, it was August 2021, I got the phone call that most people dread getting, which was to tell me that I had a rare form of cancer. And prior to getting that call, I was working like an absolute lunatic. I was doing all the things that I had learned from other coaches about, excuse me, how to run a business. I was doing one-to-one coaching. I was doing group programs. I was running a membership. I was running 2 memberships actually at the time. I was running a mastermind. I was organizing retreats, events. I was doing all of the things and I was in service all the time. I was always delivering for other people. I'd already experienced 2 burnouts, which were awful and took ages to recover from. But I believe, because coaches have told me you've got to have a membership, you've got to do one-to-one services, you've got to do group programs, you've got to do masterminds. I was doing everything on my own. At this point, I didn't have a team. I was on my own doing everything. And when I got that phone call, it allowed me to press pause on my life. It gave me almost a reason to say I can just stop everything, because I had to process what I was living with, what I was diagnosed with, what that meant for my future, what that meant for my life. And if I'm being honest, my body physically knew I was ill. I was always tired. I was always, no matter how much good sleep I got, I was always tired. I was always getting illness after illness. I was run down, but I was still serving. I was still delivering in my business. Let me know if you've ever felt like that or you feel like that right now, because I'm sure a lot of people resonate with that. Drop that in the comments and let me know. I was in service 24/7. I would work before my daughter got up. I would get her to school, come back from school. I'd be working all day. I'd pick her up from school, come home. I'd be working while she was here. I would work after she'd gone to bed. I was working long days, making sure I had content to give people. I'm making sure I was answering emails, making sure I was serving other people. And what I wasn't doing was serving myself. And as much as that diagnosis was scary at that moment and shocking, it also gave me the out to stop, to say, no more, I'm done. And so what I did was I shut everything down. Everything in my business, I stopped. I cancelled all of my one-to-one sessions. I cancelled my memberships that were generating just under 3K a month. I stopped my group calls, my group coaching. I stopped my mentorship. My mastermind. I stopped everything in my business and said, that's it. I'm not doing nothing. And I took between September and December off and just shut down my business, just shut it down. And I used that time to just sit with what was happening, to let my body breathe, recover, and heal. And in that process of getting that horrible diagnosis, it was the thing that changed my trajectory on everything, because I made a decision that I was no longer going to run my business the way other people had told me I should be running my business. It enabled me to take the time and the space without serving anyone but myself to decide what I wanted my business to look like. How did I want to run my business? Also, bearing in mind, I have this illness. There is an explanation and a reason why I'm chronically fatigued and exhausted all the time. I had this diagnosis, I have this illness, but I still love what I do. How can I do what I love to do, but still have the space to take care of me? And so this is where the whole working less, earning more philosophy came from. I made a decision. I wanted to earn more money than I was currently earning. And I'll be honest, I was earning money. I was earning good money. We were living comfortably, but the expense was I was hardly spending any time with my child. I was always working and I was always serving everyone else. So I wasn't living. And there's something about being diagnosed with cancer that makes you realize that your lifespan isn't going to be the same length as everybody else's. And suddenly the desire to live more, to do things more, became more important than me serving everyone else, making sure that I spend more time with my daughter, making sure that we are comfortable, making sure that when I'm not here, she's going to be okay. All of these things started to play into my business. And I remembered when I used to work for the BBC, there was a colleague of mine who was a young woman who had no children. Her family were in a different country, and she only worked 3 days a week. And I worked 5 days a week. And I would be like, well, why do you only work 3 days a week? And she said to me, because she said, I don't need to work 5 days a week. Should I take 2 days off each week so that I can live my life? I go and play tennis one day. I go meet my friends for lunch another day. I like to take long baths. I like to just enjoy my life. And that was a memory that came up for me during this rest period of, like, why? I don't ever want to have to, I'm just going to move this because it's saying the signal's poor. Hopefully, Dinks. Why should I work 5 days a week? Why should I work the 60 plus hours a week that I was doing, maybe 70 hours a week, and not actually enjoy my life, not live my life? And so it was in this process that I realized I can manufacture a life that I want, which means that if I want to take a 3-hour nap in the afternoon, I can do, and that's not going to affect my bank account. If I want to go and take a day off work, it's not going to affect my bank account. If I want to take a week off work, it's not going to affect my bank account. How about if I can take a whole month off and I still make money? That's the life I want, because when my illness flares and I can't get out of bed and I can't do the things I want to do, I need to have a business that still can generate money, even in the dark times. And so this is what I set about to create in my 3-month, what I like to call the reset period before I rebirthed my business. And when we talk about earning more, we all have dreams and we all have goals. And mine and my daughter's goals is that we want to have, we visualize, and it's on the vision board, a big house with a pool and lots of land so that we can have animals. And so she can swim every day. We've got space. We are comfortable. That's the dream. And in order to get that dream, I need to make money. So as much as I could have just not restarted my business, I still needed to find a way to make money. Lots of money. Because we've got big dreams. And I came up with what I'm going to share with you shortly, which is my business plan of how I get money into my business, but in a way that means I don't have to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, in a way that allows me to take breaks when I need to, but in a way that brings in more money so that we can get our big dream, our big goal. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So putting my business hat back on, I decided to think, okay, so what are the money-making activities that I need to do to bring in money into my business? What do I need to do each day? What do I need to do each week? And what do I need to do each month? And I'm sure you guys have heard about money-making activities. They're generally things that you do that is going to bring in some income into your business. And that may be things like, call to actions at the end of your post, always, telling people about your offers. That is one way that you could do a money-making activity each day. And so I started to look at this in terms of, okay, I need to do a money-making activity, but how does that filter into my business? So I looked at the business as a whole, and I looked at the areas that are the most important to my business that brings money into my business. And I ask you all to do this as well. And if you have some money-making activities, go ahead and share that in the comments as well. So my money-making activities fit into 3 different areas. The first area is what I like to call traffic, right? So traffic is, if you don't know what the term traffic means, most of you do it as business owners. When I say the word traffic, what I'm talking about is people, I'm talking about buyers, I'm talking about customers. That's my traffic. How can I get more traffic into my business? Because I need people to come into my business to spend money. Just like when a shop opens their doors for business at 9 o'clock in the morning, they don't make money unless people walk into the door. Okay, I hope this is making sense. And so I was thinking, okay, if my business is like a shop and I need to open the door, how am I going to get people into my shop? What is the thing that I'm going to do? Because that's going to make me money. So I see money-making activity as traffic, not just a simple telling people I'm selling something, but it's like, how do I get people in? How do I attract people into my business? So traffic is one of my core areas that I consider a money-making activity, because without the people, I can't make any money. And people will describe traffic as being visible or audience building. These are the different ways that people will often talk about what traffic is. The second area, and I will explain in a minute about different ways that you can bring traffic in and what they might practically look like for you, and might be a good area for you to explore dependent on your personality, because what works for me may not work for you. And I'm not a coach who's going to tell you to do my strategy. I'm going to tell you to look at my strategy and then pick the pieces of it that work for you, but make it work for you in a way that genuinely works for you, like the thing that you enjoy doing. So I'm going to share some of those shortly. The second area, the core component of my business that brings me money into my business, is nurturing. So I have to nurture the people that are coming into my world to get them to buy from me. It's a bit like, again, when you go into a shop, right? This is how I like to think about nurturing. When you go into a shop and you receive good customer service, like somebody's, they greet you, they've got good energy, they ask you how your day's going, they ask you if you want any extra things, they might have a little chat with you, they might tell you they love your jacket that you're wearing or your hair looks nice. When you receive a good experience, a customer experience, what happens is you think of that shop or that place as a friendly place that you can come back to. Versus when you go into a shop and you meet a customer service person who clearly is hungover from the night before, or they've just got a foul temperament. They don't even say good morning to you. They might just scan your stuff. They don't ask you if you want a bag, or they don't ask you if you need anything else. They couldn't give a shit about you, right? You know what I'm talking about here. When you just get someone who just got bad juju, they just got bad energy, and you're like, I ain't going back in there again. I'm going to go to the shop across the road next time. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about nurturing, is that giving people a reason to want to be around you more. And again, this is commonly referred to as know, like, and trust, or know, like, and trust. And coaches will often say, you got to build the know, like, and trust factor, right? And I just want to say on know, like, and trust factor, I don't believe it has to be all three of those. I believe it can just be one of those. Like, somebody can like you and buy from you. Somebody could just know you and buy from you. And somebody could trust you and buy from you, right? I believe it doesn't have to be all three. Sometimes it could be one or two of those things. Sometimes it could just be one of those things. And sometimes it is all three, depending on your audience, right? But I certainly have had people who have bought from me who didn't know anything about me at all. I'll give you a quick story. One of our sponsors, Sam Barefoot, I slid into her DMs. I think she posted a story and it was funny, and then I responded to it. And then I went on to leave her to like voice notes where I was just being Remi, swearing, being rude, being cheeky. Didn't know her from a bar of soap. She didn't know me. I didn't know her, but I've slid in her DMs. I've commented on something, and then I've left her 2 voice notes, which were completely random. And then what happened was I suddenly realised I don't know this woman. And I've just left her some sweary voice notes. So I quickly, frantically typed in big capital letters, "Do not play this voice note if there are children around." Because I suddenly had the awareness that this woman doesn't know me. And so she came back and was laughing, and she was like, "It's fine. My son's used to this sort of language. It's cool. She's totally my people." And she got me straight away, and I got her straight away. And but we didn't know each other. I've never been in her groups or her programs. She'd never been in my groups or my programs. And in our back and forth discussion, she said to me, she must have at this point gone and clicked on my profile and seen that I was talking about AI. And I think at the time I was selling my ChatGPT 101 course. And she was like, what is this about? Like, how does it help people? So I started writing to say, I didn't slide in your DMs to pitch you or sell you anything, but as you've asked, I'll tell you what it's about and how it can help you, blah, blah, blah. So I'm there typing away, I'm on about 2 paragraphs of text, and then I hit enter and this message sends. And then Sam's message pops up straight away, and she's like, I've just bought it. She said, I'm not even going to read what you just wrote. I've bought it, which made me howl laughing that, a complete stranger who didn't know me, didn't trust me, but she clearly liked me, and just went and bought something. And this has happened multiple times to me, where people will go from finding a post or a video to just buying my stuff. But they're not in they're not on my email list. They're not in my Facebook group. They're not on my profile. We haven't connected. And this happens a lot. So I really believe, this was a bit of a tangent, I'm sorry. I really believe that sometimes people can know you or like you or trust you in order to buy from you, but it doesn't always have to be all three. So that was a really long tangent that you didn't really need, but I just wanted to share that with you. All right, the third area, the third core area of business that I think is really important is your offers. So having something to sell, that's one thing. Having something to sell that people really want is where the magic happens. And so I understood that in terms of money-making activities, I needed to, number one, have a way to bring traffic in because people generate the money. Number two, a way to nurture people so that they will either know or like or trust me. And then the third way was to have something at the end that they will buy from me, like the offer. And so offers can look like digital offers. They can be physical products that you create or sell. They could be events. They could be your one-to-one coaching. They could be a program. They could be a mastermind or a mentorship. They are the things that you actually sell. And you need to have those in place. And they need to be things that people actually want to buy, not things that you want to create. And that's a big differentiator where I think a lot of people struggle. They make things that they think they want. And actually, it's about understanding your audience and what is it that they need. That's the offers that I create in my business because they make me money. So when we talk about traffic, just to jump back to point one, when we talk about traffic, ways that people commonly get traffic are things like social media marketing. So they might post every day on, multiple platforms or one platform. They might send emails. They might run Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads. They might have a funnel. This is a way to get traffic into your business. They might do networking. So these are just some of the common ways that people bring traffic into their business. And I think the question at this point for you is, what is the thing that works for you the best at bringing people into your business? Because there is little point in doing all of the things if they're not all working, but find the things that do work for you and do more of that to bring the traffic into your business. And I will share how I generate traffic in my business. But again, this is about you and what works for you. When we talk about nurturing, some of the ways that are commonly known to nurture audiences are to have a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group, or maybe you have a WhatsApp group, or you have an email list where you nurture the people once they've, followed a lead magnet or they've bought something from you. And then the other way is maybe like a YouTube channel. These are some of the common ways that we can nurture people in our world to know us more, to like us more, and to trust us more. And for offers, some of the type of things that are known for offers are going to be things like your services. What are your services packaged up? That's an offer. Courses that you might create, that's an offer. And again, products that you create are also an offer. So for those of you who don't really know me, I am a massive statistical nerd. I love stats. I look at stats every day. Like I might just look on Facebook. How many people viewed my thing yesterday? Like I love looking at stats. And when I was in my reset period, that 3-month period where I shut everything down out of my business, I had no income coming in. I shut everything down. Luckily, I had savings and I had money to get me through. When I shut down my business, I started to look at the stats because I was trying to figure out, okay, well, what are the things I need to do in my business that brings the people in, and what are the things that help me sell more? So I was looking at my stats and I realized something. I realized because for so long when I started my coaching business, I was in service. I was always helping other people in their business, which is the thing I love to do. I realized when I started looking at all of my social media platforms and my email list that because I was in service for so long, I had not really grown my audience size very much. Because I was delivering, I was in service. I was too busy serving other people and growing their businesses that my business actually wasn't growing. And every time I was selling stuff to the same kind of core people. Let me know if you relate in the comments to this. I was having repeat buyers. I'd create something new and then it would be the same buyers over and over again. And what happens when you're in that space of serving, delivering, and not growing your audience is at some point you hit a ceiling where those buyers stop buying from you. Let me know if any of you relate to this. You hit a ceiling where people stop buying from you. And I realized in order to have this earn more, work less lifestyle, I needed new people to be coming into my business. I need to open those business doors wide and have more new people coming into my business. So I looked at the stats and I could see that my audience reach was relatively small. So for example, numbers, Facebook, I've got on my profile 1,700. On my business page, I think it's just under 5,000 people, but most of the people on my business people are not ideal clients. I'd say about half of them are the wrong type of people. And that's how I set it up. So that's my bad. And then I look at things like Instagram. I have 600 people over there. On LinkedIn, I think, I don't know, under 2,000. And TikTok, 200, 300, something like that. YouTube, 150, 160, something like that. So my audience sizes are quite small. And I knew I needed to reach more people, or more people needed to know about me. So I started, after looking at the numbers and analyzing the numbers, I started to notice a pattern where I would get more views and more reach and more people who would engage with me and would follow me. And the realization for me was that short form videos was the thing that was driving the most amount of people into my business. So when I say short form video, I'm talking about things like reels. And so you can do reels on Facebook, you can do reels on Instagram, on TikTok, on Clapper, on YouTube. You can create these short form videos on these different platforms. And so the stats were telling me that this is where the people are coming from. And the other thing, Instagram, for example, I think TikTok do this, I'm not sure, but I know Instagram definitely does, is when I looked at the stats, I found that the stats were able to tell me how much of my existing audience was seeing this and how much of a new audience was seeing this. And I found, for example, on Instagram, that the majority of my videos was shown to more new people than my existing people, which is what I wanted. I want to reach new people so I can bring them into my world so they can learn about me and buy my things. And so when I saw those numbers, I was like, aha, we're onto something here. And I just want to say here, a little disclaimer, that what works for me and my stats may be very different to yours. Okay, so don't take this as gospel that this is going to be the same for you. I'm telling and sharing with you what worked for me, was realizing that my reels were reaching more new people than existing people, which was exactly my goal of what I wanted to do, was to reach more new people. So I then made another decision, which was I was going to invest in learning about how I could become a master at making reels. So I invested in myself and in my business, and I spent $5,000 actually, on investing in a program that taught me everything about short form video, how to make them, how to be strategic with them, how to use them to bring leads into my business. Actually doesn't teach you about leads, but I took away from that how I could bring leads into your business. So I found a way, because before reels would take me hours and hours to make, and I found a way through the training that I can use reels as my traffic source to bring people into my business. And I also, as I went on this journey, realized that reels right now, where we are in September 2023, is the greatest way to reach new people. So when I look at doing, for example, a static post on Facebook or a static post on LinkedIn, so I'll give you some numbers here. So if I was to do a static post on Facebook, my profile, which is my most active space, where I'm highly engaged with my followers, and there's 1,700 people there. An example, and I'm averaging out here, I'm giving you some real averages here. My average is going to be like, maybe the algorithm will show it to 50 people, maybe 100 on a good day, which means the majority of my audience on a static post is never, ever seeing my content. That's the reality. And I can, I mean, I've gone through months of my stats. I have a spreadsheet, I have numbers. I can see that the reach is low. When I do a post, there's no chance that everybody who is following me will see that post. And so I then started to look at, when I made reels, what was happening. And so if I did a reel, one video that might take me 30 minutes to create, one video might reach me 3,000 people or 5,000 people. And I started going, okay, well, what's making sense here? What is working here in my business and what isn't working in my business? And to me, sitting down to write a post that might take me 30 minutes and only reach, 50 or 100 people didn't seem a good use of my time. And I don't have a lot of time because I have low energy. But actually spending 30 minutes to make a short form video that's going to reach thousands of people who've never seen me before made more sense. So the stats took me to where it made sense. So after I went through my training, I became very strategic in how I was making short form videos. My short form videos are intentionally made to attract a certain type of person. and they are very much business orientated. So I just want to, again, go back to some numbers here. This is where a slide would have been really helpful, but I'm just going to explain it to you. Let's say on average, if I'm just going to do a rough average here, because sometimes it's higher and sometimes it's a little bit lower, but it's mostly higher. On average, if I was to do a reel on a strategic reel for my business, and let's say it got 150 views. I know some of you will go, oh, that's not worth it. I'm not getting out of bed for 150 views. It's not worth it. My brain works like this. My brain goes, okay, let me look at the stats. And the stats are likely going to say 50 people were people that already know you, and 100 people are brand new people. So one reel could potentially show me and make me visible to 100 new people on one platform, on Instagram. But of course, I post on four platforms every day. So that could be 400 people every day. So 400 new people accessing me or seeing me for the first time. I was like, that could work. And then if you multiply that by a month, so if I got 100 people a day, new people to see me a day, over a month, that's 3,100 people a month, new people who are finding and discovering me for the first time. And then if you multiply that by 4 platforms, that's like 12,500 people a month finding me off the back of one reel a day that I commit to doing every single day. And so then the numbers started getting exciting to me, because sometimes your reel will get 1,000 views. Sometimes your reel will get 5,000 views. Sometimes your reel will get 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 1 million. Like, it's exponential. If you get a viral video that kicks off, then the potential to reach new audiences is amazing. So I was like, okay, how do I do this so that it doesn't take my energy, it doesn't take a lot of my time, and that I can reach the most amount of people and bring them into my business? And so for me, it was making reels. And so I invested in learning how to become a master at doing that quicker, faster, and better. And again, I don't make the reels where I'm just dancing or doing lip syncs. I'm strategically, with the business hat on, strategically making reels to attract a certain type of person into my business. And just on that, if you're going to go look at my reels right now, I can tell you the last 2 months, I haven't been doing it daily, because I've been building this summit and dealing with everything, speakers, sponsors, building the site, all of that. So my reels game has dropped in the last few weeks. But rest assured, once the summit is over, you will, if you are following me, if you're in my world, you will see I'll be back to posting reels every single day, because it is my money-making activity. It brings traffic into my business. And I know that some of you are sitting there and have this one thought in your mind, and you will have heard other coaches say this, that views doesn't pay the bills, right? Views doesn't put money in your pocket directly. And you would be correct. Views alone does not put money in your pocket directly, 100%. But I'm not doing it for the views. I'm not doing it to go, oh my God, I got 10,000 views today. Like, I'm not doing it to get street cred. I'm doing this strategically. I couldn't give a shit about the views, which is why if I get a video that's got 150 views on it, and some people be like, oh, that's a rubbish reel. I'm like, no, it's not. I've just been given access to 100 new people. 100 new people have seen me. And so when you look at the stats, you can very easily learn how long people are watching your videos for. You can learn things like who's commenting, who's saved your reel, who has followed you off of that reel. And again, being a strategic business owner, I use the data. I do activities that mean when people are watching my videos, I am counting all the warm leads that are coming into my business, which most people don't do. Most people look at only the views. I'm looking at the people who've saved a reel, because when somebody saves your content, they're raising their hand to say, I'm interested in this. I'm going to come back and watch this. When somebody comments and engages with that, they are expressing what they think and feel about that. And they're also raising their hand to say, oh, I'm interested in what you're talking about. I'm interested in you. And when somebody follows you, they're following you because they want to see more of what you are talking about, the subject, the topic, the information, the education, whatever it is you're doing in that reel. They are raising their hand to say, I am interested in you. So again, I am not interested in the views. I'm interested in the people who take action on those videos. And then I do stuff with that. I have a whole strategy around what I do with people who engage on those videos, which brings in people into my business as warm leads because they raise their hands. So for me, Reels is the fastest way to reach the most amount of people in my business. And again, I invested in training to find a way that I can do Reels. I can do Reels that don't take all day to make or to edit or to make fancy. And so that they are business focused, they are strategic. The questions are positioned the right way, that I am literally dragging people towards me. I've opened my door and said, come on in. We are open for business. That's what my reels are. That is how I use my first core step, which is traffic, to make money in my business by bringing people in using this strategy. And what I want you to do right now is, if you're also sitting here thinking, oh my God, Remi, I'm never going to make a reel. I hate reels. They're the worst thing. I have no time to go learn a new thing. That's absolutely fine. What I want you to do is to replace my traffic thing, which is doing a daily reel. That's my commitment to myself, is every day I will make a reel, because that's how I grow my audience and get people in. And I can make them from my bed. If I'm having a bad day, I just make a reel where I'm not in it, where I voice over it, right? I want you to replace my traffic thing with the thing that works for you and for your personality type. Reels works for me because the 50% extroverted side of my personality loves making videos, loves editing, loves being creative. It actually sparks the creative spots in my brain, actually making like a little mini video. And I actually think my reels are like mini adverts for my business. Mini adverts for my business. And I enjoy making them. So when I was thinking about what is the thing that I need to do, the stats did lead me to short form videos 100%. The stats told me this is where you're getting people into your business. But there was also a combination for me that I also enjoy making them. Like, I love getting the lights on, putting the camera on, and being my true, authentic, quirky, funny, silly self. I like that because that's what sells in my business, who I am. So you have to find the thing that works for you, and it may not be reels. It may be that you have a blog that is, curated and it's active and you get a lot of traffic to your blogs. If that's your thing, then make a commitment to do that every day or every week, whatever your jam is. But make a commitment to do it regularly so that it brings in people into your world. It may be that you have a massive email list that is engaged and thriving and people are opening your emails. So maybe your commitment is, I'm going to write an email every single day to drive people towards my offer. So I want you to think about what works for you, because I'm sharing what works for me. And you might go, oh, actually, I do reels, and maybe I'm going to go up my game with reels. Maybe that's what you do. Or maybe you go, actually, no, Dinks. You make the decision for yourself and for your business that feels aligned to you. And it has to be something you enjoy doing, or you're not going to commit to doing it each day. So this is what I do as a daily activity to bring money / people into my business every single day. And that takes me roughly about an hour a day to do that. If you don't know where to start, if you're like, I don't know what my thing is, you need to either write this down, journal this out, look at your business. Start by looking at your stats. Where are people coming to you from? A simple little hack for you. You've probably seen me sharing about the Limitless Summit, and I always share a bit.ly link, a bit.ly link. And I do that because it tracks the stats. So when I look in my bit.ly, it tells me, because you can log in, by the way, you can literally log in and have a free account. When I log in, it tells me where people are coming from. Where have people found out about the Limitless Summit? Is it Facebook? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? Where are people coming from? Is it from my emails? And I follow the numbers. The numbers will lead you to where you need to do more of something or less of something. So these are the things that I'm doing in my business. I'm always looking at the numbers because they will tell you what is working in your business and what isn't working in your business. So your action step that I'm going to give you is, firstly, decide what it is you enjoy doing in your business, and then look at how you can bring more people into your business by doing it in a way that you enjoy doing, which might be video, it might be writing, it might be audio, whatever that looks like for you. Make that decision today about how you're going to bring people into your business. Maybe your thing is going live on your video, on your stories, live on your profiles every day. Maybe it's going live in your stories or creating stories. Maybe it's emailing people. Maybe it's the DMs. Just have a drink. My throat was very dry. Find and decide what is your way to bring traffic into your business. That was the part of my first step. My second step was about nurturing. So there are different ways that you can nurture people that I've mentioned before. It might be you have a Facebook group that you always are leading people into. In fact, when I first started in business, my process or funnel, if you want to call it that, I hate the word funnel, was my Facebook profile, and I would always lead people into my Facebook group where I could then nurture them. And I would nurture them by, putting trainings in there. I would do educational posts. I would share in there. I would get them to engage in things. I'd run challenges in there. So that was how I used to nurture people. But I found with my illness and my energy being so low that running a group like that for me took a lot of energy. And sometimes it wasn't always rewarding. And I just made the decision that I wasn't going to do that anymore because I'm trying to build a business that is easy, that flows. And managing a Facebook group didn't feel that easy. So I had to look at different ways that I can nurture people. And so my way, the second step, which is nurture in my business money plan, is I run workshops. So once a month, I run a 60 to 90-minute workshop that will strategically be attractive to all of these new traffic leads that are coming in, and will also push them towards the third step, which is my offer. So in the middle of all of this is my nurturing workshop. And as I've said, these are strategically positioned to move people through into the offer that is actually being curated perfectly for this ideal person. So to give you an example of what I'm talking about here, I ran a workshop at the start of the year. I can't remember because I've got terrible memory. I think it was something like AI for business, or no, it was AI for beginners, or it was AI for course creators. I can't remember. People pay to come into that, and the people that come into that are interested in using artificial intelligence, and they are also course creators, which meant I could perfectly position them to go and buy my course, which is called Mini Course Magic, at the end of it. So the reels at the front end were talking about AI, which positioned people into my nurturing hub, which is a once a month workshop on a specific topic that I know my audience is interested in, which then perfectly moves them into my offers that are perfectly positioned to help them solve a problem, to get a transformation, or to get a result. And so each of these 3 steps that I'm talking about, traffic, nurture, offer, they are all aligned. And sometimes people just jump from finding me on a reel to just buying the offer. Sometimes they miss the bit in the middle. But what I find is when I run the bit in the middle, the nurture bit in the middle, and I have 3 different workshops that I run, so I rotate them. I don't just, I know some people do, they just repeat their workshops. I get bored easily. So I roll through 3 different workshops that I run. They all lead to a specific product that is related to my nurturing in the middle. And the reason I chose to do workshops was because A, they're fun. B, I love connecting with people in my Zoom room. C, they take 60 to 90 minutes a month for me to do. The first 60 minutes is me presenting and giving value and education. And then the last 30 minutes is me selling my offer and inviting them to come and buy my next thing. And it works beautifully for me. I have really high converting workshops that I run. Because here's what happens when you get in a room with me. And this is going to sound really big headed, but when people get in a room with me and they're in a safe space and they see all of this, the silliness mixed in with the knowledge I have and the experience that I have, what happens is people fall in love with me. Right? I said it. People fall in love with me and they want to be in my world and they want to be around a bit longer. And it's an easy sell for me because once you see me and you hear me and you know the value that I'm going to give to you and the transformation that you're going to get at the end, it's an easy sell. It's an easy sell because it makes sense. And I also invested in a program that taught me how to run converting workshops that connect on a human level and allow me to move people very lovingly, not in a salesy, icky, horrible way, in a very lovingly way to buy from me if they want to. And there's no hard sell. There's no pushiness. It's very much if you want to take, this next step, then you are invited to do so. So I invested again in learning how to do something really well. And it works for me. It absolutely works for me. And the reason I do the workshops is because it's 90 minutes a month. And on average, it generates me between 1 to 4K to do a 90-minute presentation. So it just makes sense for me. And again, I'm not telling you to go and run workshops. I'm telling you to find the nurturing vessel that works for your business and do that consistently. This is what this is about. Finding the steps of this that work for you. So workshops are incredibly powerful, but again, only if you are strategic with what you are doing. I see people running workshops and then selling something at the end that just makes no sense to what they've been talking about. We have to be really strategic in all of our business. And when you're somebody who has a chronic illness, you have to be strategic about how you use your time. An hour a day for me, when I get, about 4 hours of good time a day, normally between like 9 and 1 are my good hours. I can spend an hour of that to create a reel that shows me in my best energy, in my best light, which again is strategic and will bring people into my business. And then once a month, I can run a workshop that brings all of those lovely warm leads into my business. And they are mostly filled with new people who've never worked with me before. They come into my workshop. I build that know, like, and trust factor. I let them fall a little bit in love with me and see the Remi magic. And then I present my offers to them, which is my step 3. My step 3 is offers. And on average, I spend about 3 to 5 hours a week working on my offers. And when I say working on my offers, what I mean is delivering parts of my offers. So some of my offers may have, and there's not many, but some of them may have a live group call for like 4 weeks or a live group call once a month. And so I have to spend time in those calls delivering, serving, coaching, and I'm happy to do that for 3 to 5 hours a week. Sometimes it's tweaking my offers. Sometimes I might spend 3 to 5 hours creating a new offer. But I don't really go beyond that with my offers because I have so many offers that I can rotate through them and always be selling something because I have a lot of offers. And my offers, I like to say they're good offers because they meet people where they are. And they do either create a transformation for somebody or they create a result, and they don't necessarily need me in them. So I will do things like create courses that answers everything in that course on a specific subject, what I like to call mini courses or micro courses that tackles a problem in your business that you can learn and solve on your own without me having to coach you, because I've removed all one-to-one coaching out of my business because of the energy that it takes for me to do that. I'm not telling you to remove one-to-one coaching out of your business. I'm saying I no longer do it because energetically, I don't have the energy to do one-to-one. I am I'm more aligned to doing group programs where I might have 10 or 20 people on a call where I can help everybody at once versus doing 20 individual phone calls. That for me is not how I want to live my life anymore. And that's no shade on anyone who is doing that. It just doesn't work for me. And this is all about finding your personal business plan. So for me, I would rather have a course that teaches you the things that I would have done in a one-to-one with you. And I also do Voxer calls. So and Vox is great because it means I don't have to get on a call. We don't have to get on Zoom. Nobody has to get dressed. I don't even have to get out of my bed if I don't want to. It's back and forth. You ask me a question and I give you my best business experience, and it's done over Voxer. It's done throughout the day. I respond when I have the time, normally before I have a nap and after I've had a nap. And so it's very flexible. And everything I'm building in my business is flexible, and my offers are flexible for me and my health and the life that I want to live. And so when we talk about offers, I want you to have a think about the offers you currently have. Are they selling? Are they not selling? Are they still in alignment with what your audience wants and what they need? And if they're not, what can you do about that? And this is the type of thing that I do with my clients. We look at the offers. We look at what is working in your business and what isn't working in your business. And we tweak, review. Sometimes we will just straight up remove things and say, okay, that don't work anymore. Let's do this new thing by looking at your audience, by surveying your audience, by understanding your audience's needs to create the right offers. I see people making offers all the time, and the offers are about what that person wanted to create, but they're not always solving a problem for their clients, so people don't buy. So I want you to ask yourself some questions about your own offers right now. Do they still feel aligned? Are they selling? Are people signing up? If they're not, it's like your business offers need a review. So I want you to write that down, to review your existing offers. And if you haven't got any offers yet, to think about what it is that your audience needs. What do they need? What do they need solving? What could you create right now that would solve a problem that you know that they need? So offers is a very big part of what I do. I have a lot of offers, and what happens is the people that circle in my world, they come to my portal, whether it's for a free thing, whether it's for something like this, for Limitless Summit, whether it is that they bought a product. What happens is my portal is a binge and buy marketplace. And so all of my offers are there. And what happens is people just buy stuff. It's like when you go to, like when you're at the checkout at a supermarket and they've got like bars of chocolate and bubble gum at the tills, and you're just like, I'll just have one of those. And you pop it in your basket. That's what my website is like. It's a binge and buy marketplace where people can just pick and choose the things that they need for their business. Now, So that's how I do my offers. I create content. I create offers that I know people need. And I encourage you to do the same in your business. So just to review where we've been in this long chat. I'm sorry, it's nearly an hour. The 3 core areas of my business are traffic, nurture, and offers. And all of those 3 steps bring in money for me. All of them. The traffic thing I do daily. My offers sell daily/weekly, depending on which one I'm promoting or whether people are just in my ecosystem anyway. Or if I've sent an email about a specific thing, they sell anyway. They sell without me doing anything. And I've created them so I don't have to keep doing anything. They are standalone offers that actually get people results. So those are the offers I create, and they are daily, weekly sales that happen. And then every month I do one workshop, which people pay to come to it, and then they buy at the end of it. So it makes me money in 2 ways. I'm just trying to move this because the internet quality is low. So the question I have for you is, what is your money plan for your business? Has this been helpful? Give me a yes in the comments if this has been helpful for you to think about the way in which you bring people and money into your business. I really hope it has. Let me know in the comments if you have a money plan, if you don't have a money plan for your business, but you're going to go off and make one. And I've gone quite broad with this today because behind each of these 3 core areas are very finely tuned business strategies around my traffic, around my nurturing, and around my offers. I've just given you, a 30,000 feet view of what it's like, the system that runs through my business. But I could go much deeper, and I do go much deeper in my client programs that I run. But I hope I've given you enough today to think about having a very clear business plan to begin with. And a business plan doesn't have to be a 50-page document. It could be a 1-page document. And it should be a plan that you review every month or every quarter. It should always be evolving. A plan of how you're getting money into your business. That is crucial. And then what I've run through today is my business money plan of how I, as a business, attract people, look after the people, sell to the people. And it just works in the loop because those same people, as well as new people coming in, they will keep coming to my new workshops and they'll keep buying my new programs, and they just keep working in a loop. And that happens because of the emails that I send to support my people as well. So I hope that's been useful to look behind the scenes of how I generate income into my business. The income in my business means that we are lucky enough to be comfortable. We live in a house that is paid for. We don't have a mortgage. We take lots of holidays each year. We eat out whenever we want to eat out. And we have the freedom to live how we want to live. And I have the freedom in my business to take 4-hour naps in the afternoon, to take days off when I want to and not worry about money. And it's something that we can all have, but it starts with a plan. In my opinion, it starts with having a good business plan of how you are going to pull people into your world, how you're going to look after them, and how you're going to serve them. So I hope this has been useful. And let me know in the comments your thoughts, your takeaways, anything that's inspired you, anything that's motivated you, or any aha moments that you've had, or what you've just generally loved about this. I will see you in the comments. Thank you for watching.